Hello everyone, Kostas here reporting from the Aberjona River.
It's Aberjona.
Sorry, what?
Aberjona.
No. Oh. Guys, Kostas here reporting from the Aberjona River. Same river that we talked about with the toxic spill in Woburn back in the 90s. In the 1990s, a company spilled chemicals and toxic waste into the Aberjona River here in Woburn, Mass. What happened was it seeped into the river, and the river was used for the main town's water supply. Now, let's see what's in this water still. Look at it.
I had a family friend whose family was involved with it, and it really was a big deal, and it hit home because it affected a lot of people. A lot of people got sick, and it was a serious issue.
A facility that got one of the highest fines, Cambridge Plating Company. It was bordering Cambridge and Belmont, and they were caught violating multiple wastewater laws, and they were one of the heaviest polluters in Massachusetts. So, and I lived probably a quarter, but not even a quarter mile away from them.
Wow.
So, and there was cancer plumes in our neighborhood.
As
So,
a forestry degree holder and a mechanic, how does this all affect you in your position?
Well, I do work for the team, so sustainable transportation, green energy is it's kind of important to the world these days, and you know what we do with it and how we bring it about and how we use it is it's A, my livelihood depends on it, and B, I think everyone's life depends on it, and responsible use of green energy and persistent modes of transportation that can capitalize on those types of modes of transportation every day is good.
So something like the T?
Just like the T, MBTA.
Better news, how many pounds of VOCs do you think have been removed from the 33 wells that we talked about? How many pounds of that?
Of actual...
Yeah, of volume.
1,500 pounds.
49.
That's it?
Yeah, 49
Well,
pounds.
yeah, because if you think about the density of the materials, but still, that's a lot. And I don't know what the rating or the scale is for measuring what is a VOC, what is the parts per million that constitutes that. But if it is based on parts per million, 49 pounds is very substantial.
It's a metric buttload, when I say.
It's a ton.
All right, I'm back with some samples. So here is the water we got from Woburn. Here is some water from my tap. And here is some water I bought at a store. So, the tap and distilled water, perfectly safe to drink. But, is the Woburn water safe to drink? No. Absolutely not. I cannot say this enough. Do not drink this water. However, it is safe to be in contact with. In the context of, you won't get cancer if you touch it, like how it was back in the 60s. So, the question is, how is it not that toxic anymore? The reason why is because after the discovery of toxic contamination in those two municipal drinking water wells in Woburn, the Environmental Protection Agency, aka the EPA, took over monitoring and treating the area. They enforced the drilling of several recovery wells. These recovery wells are used to pump out the contaminated water in the river for treatment. The toxic compounds like trichloroethylene, which causes cancer, is still found in 17 of the monitored wells in the area. The EPA continues to monitor the levels of this and other carcinogenic chemicals 50 years after the initial discovery, and still there are some chemical levels above their safety level, while others are steadily decreasing. So, this may sound all alarming, but these wells are not connected to the city's drinking water, so the water you get from I don't know, a river or your sink is perfectly safe, so do not fret. Well, that's all I got for this episode of Science on the Street. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.